Yo, what is good, YouTube, and welcome back to another JC2K video. In today's video, we're going to be ranking every single Amethyst in NBA 2K24 MyTEAM here on this tier list. This is every single Amethyst that has come out in Season 1 of MyTEAM. And this is probably the last time that I will rank every Amethyst this year because it's 51, and I think that's a pretty large tier list already, so I don't want to go much larger than that to keep these videos from being overly long. But yeah, before we hop into the video, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Help me push towards the 14,000 subscriber mark on the channel. I upload every single day. We'd really appreciate it if y'all do subscribe. Without further ado, let's hop right into it. So this will give you a good picture of a lot of the best cards in the game because there's only like 9 or 10 diamonds total available right now, and then everything else is Amethyst. So I don't have a couple of Amethyst cards on here. I am just now realizing the Evo guys, so Mitch Richmond and maybe 1 or 2 more guys who potentially can get to Amethyst. I think it's just Mitch Richmond actually, but he would be like C tier, so I'll just say that, or maybe B tier. Al Horford is definitely not S tier. Al Horford among the Amethysts is probably low B or high C. I don't think he's amazing. I may adjust slightly, and obviously, like most tier lists, I'll figure it out as I go, and I'll adjust from there. But I think Horford's a little slow, only like close to 60 speed, but he shoots the ball capably. Release is not incredible, but he's a versatile defender, and overall, a pretty good card. Allen Houston is a great shooter who actually moves okay and is like a pretty good all-around card. I do actually kind of like Allen Houston as a card and think he's actually decently usable at the shooting guard position if you were to lock in him for Larry Bird or whatever, if you did that. I think Allen Iverson, again, also very solid. He's borderline A, actually, because offensively, I like the card. He moves really nicely this year. Animations are super solid. Release is okay. Defensively, he's very small, but he is a good pesky perimeter defender at least, which is nice, and I think he's low A or high B. I don't love the card, but I certainly don't hate him either. Andrew Bogut's definitely D tier. He's a 30-speed center who can't shoot. Obviously is not going to be good. He's just not going to cut it at an elite level, and most of these Amethysts are pretty damn good. So ideally, we have about 10 cards in each tier. Is that actually going to happen? No, because there will be less guys in the D tier, I'm sure. But Anthony Davis, I am going to put S tier. I think he's one of the best Amethysts in my team for sure. Elite center who has a really nice release, defends incredibly well, and has very capable athletic ability. Just overall, a really good card. Bam Adebayo, not quite an S tier Amethyst in my opinion, but definitely a good option at the center position or even power forward. He's got very capable speed, a smooth release, and Hoff anchor, defends his butt off, and is just a really, really solid all-around card again. So another card that I'm a pretty big fan of actually is going to be that Bam Adebayo card. I think Ben Wallace is like A or B. I mean, I might take him over Al Horford, so I think I'll go B, but it's pretty close. I mean, I love the speed, but I don't like the fact that he's 6'9" and can't shoot at all. He can't even hit a mid-range. That's frustrating. The speed and the defense is super nice, but I don't think he's really that incredible of a card. Bill Walton is like a 60 speed inside, and while I like the fact that he can pass and he's a pretty good interior defender, the fact that he doesn't really shoot the ball at all isn't something I'm a huge fan of. He's not super fast. His player ability is not incredible. I think he's okay, but I don't think he's amazing. I think C tier is really pretty fair. I'm going to put Blake in S tier. I think he's one of the best couple power forwards in my team right now. Release is very capable, super athletic. 85 speed on a Blake card this early in the year is really nice as well. Just overall, really versatile, good card at this power forward position. Basically just a better Sean Kemp is how I would agree, or what I would call Blake Griffin in my team. I mean, he's always good early in the year, and this year certainly is as well. Chris Webber, just like Bam Adebayo, those guys have been following each other all year, and Chris Webber is an A tier center, not quite S tier in my opinion, but capable release, good speed at 80, which is really nice, and he's a versatile enough defender, can hit it open 3. Kind of like Bam Adebayo. They're very similar cards, and I think they're both A tier. I'm going to go C tier for Clyde Drexler. I think he's like outside the top 5 at shooting guard, but definitely still a pretty solid free card. I would definitely take him over Allen Houston. In fact, I'm going to move Allen Houston down a tier because I think that's going to even this out a little bit. I think release is capable on him. He's a super athletic card, not a horrible defender either. Probably the best card in B tier so far. Might even be worth moving up to A tier at some point. I do think Damian Lillard can't be higher than B tier as well. I just don't like the fact that he doesn't defend at all. His movement is pretty good. I like his push cross and I like his release, and he does dunk the ball very, very well. But I just think mid B is probably fair. I would take him over Al Horford. I don't know if I'd take him over Ben Wallace, probably, but I don't like DeRozan. I understand he's a great mid-range shooter. I think his release is bad. I don't think he moves that well, and he doesn't defend. He's not really a particularly guard at the shooting guard position. And among these Amethysts, many of whom I think are significantly better than DeRozan, I think he's no better than C tier. Dennis Rodman, I understand. I get comments about people who love Dennis Rodman. If you love Dennis Rodman, feel free to keep using him. For me personally, he's not quite fast enough to where I could justify using him as an inside, especially as undersized as he is. So for me, he's a D tier card in my team. Derrick Rose, I am honestly putting C tier. I understand that he is super fast and that his movement is pretty good. Specifically his size up and his dribble style, but slashing is not that good, honestly. It's just not that effective. His release is super duper slow. I just don't think he's that elite. I mean, he was really good when he first came out, but at this point, with how many solid point guards that we've been getting, I don't think Derrick Rose is really that great. I mean, he's B or C tier. I'm not that impressed. I am going to put Devin Booker in the S tier. He's one of the best offensive cards in the game. Incredible fade, amazing release. Movement is very capable, and he's just overall super duper glitchy. His fade is the best fade in the game, and he's absolutely incredible. Definitely S tier. Dirk is 40 speed with a slow release. I understand he's one of the best shooters in the game. He's also my favorite player of all time. I would love to put him much higher, and I wish Dirk had been an elite card, but he's not, and that does not surprise me. He is a D tier option. Going to put Dominique Wilkins in A tier. Legitimately a big fan of this Dominique Wilkins card. He's very athletic. He's 6'8". He can dunk the ball well, but he also has the Curry slide, moves okay with a shoe that boosts ball handle. He's going to be able to speed boost, actual timing burst as well, which is super nice, and overall a very, very good card. Another guy who's a really good card is Draymond Green. He defends his absolute butt off. I forgot to put him on my top 10 defenders list a couple days ago, which is 100% my bad, because he is an amazing defender, one of the best defensive cards in the game, and can hit a wide open three as well. His duo with Steph boosts him up even more, but even without it, still a great card. Drazen Petrovic is absolutely horrendous. His release is bad. He is only a shooter statistically, and with a bad release, that doesn't matter. Card sucks. Grant Hill, can't give him S tier anymore, but I think he's an A tier guy. I think he's a top 5 small forward in the game still, or at least probably the 5th best small forward in the game, but I do really like the card. He's a great slasher. He's got a pretty fast release, and he's a capable defender as well. Not a bad card at all. I'm going to put Hakeem in B. I'm not quite giving him A. I think he's a good card, but I do honestly believe that, well, I say that, but I would actually take him over Bam and Weber at the center position. So I'm going to give him A because he is so big, really good player build. His animations defensively, rebounding-wise are phenomenal. He's the best Shaq stopper in the game, I think, in terms of pure defensive matchup. I actually really like the card. I think Isaiah Thomas defends well and has a good release. I think he's actually a pretty good card. Moves okay too. I understand he doesn't dunk the ball, but a lot of good point guards don't dunk the ball right now. I actually like this Isaiah Thomas a decent bit. I would take him over D Rose, so I'm going to put him B tier. J.R. Smith, release is definitely pretty mediocre. Statistically, he's not incredible. He's not a bad card, but for me, I mean, statistically, he's very good, and his badges are good too. But I don't like his release that much. A B or C? I'll go high C. That's what I'm going to do. Jamal Murray, I am actually going to put D tier. He's a 76 speed point guard. That is really slow. Combine that with a slow release as well, and without the ability to defend very well, and he's mediocre. Ja Morant is just going to go C because that's where Derrick Rose is. They're the same card. They do slightly different things. Ja's movement isn't as good, and he's probably got a faster release, but overall, don't love either card. C tier is fair for both of them. Jason Williams just isn't very good. He's just not in the tier of most of these new Amethysts. Came out at the very beginning of the season, day one, and has not lived up to what he potentially could have been. Jason Tatum, I don't think I can quite put S tier either, although I'm looking at the guys left and I'm thinking how many S tier guys are truly left, and I think Jason Tatum might be an S tier guy. I really like this Tatum card a lot, and I do think he's better than all the guys I have in A tier right now, so I am going to put him as S tier for at least the time being, because he's 6'8", really good release, defends well, really, really nice card. I did lock in Kawhi Leonard, and that was probably not something that was smart for me to do because I already had Tatum and Grant Hill, but the MT was burning a hole in my pocket, I guess. I haven't spent anything in this game in like 3 weeks, so I wanted to get Tatum, and I wanted to get Kawhi, and I did, but I still think Tatum's an incredible card and kind of misusing him at times. Jerry West is pretty good. I mean, he's big and can defend. He's got an okay release. He's not a bad option at the center position, at the point guard position. I actually think, again, looking at this card as the season has progressed, I've realized how solid he is. The fact I know he can't slash the way that Derrick Rose can. He's not fast the way Derrick Rose is, but he's 6'3", 6'9", wingspan, super long arms, and good player build, as well as being a much, much better defender than a guy like D Rose or Ja, as well as a better shooter. So, like, to me, I actually like him better. And I think that might be blasphemy to some people. To me, I don't think it's really that crazy. I think Dumars is good defensively. Not incredible offensively, but pretty fast release. Can dunk the ball, I guess, wide open. He's not horrible. I will put Dr. J in S tier. My second favorite Amethyst shooting guard in the game after Devin Booker. Way more well-rounded than Devin Booker, though. Elite offensive and defensive card with a really good release. Defends his butt off. Moves pretty well as well overall. Really, really solid card. I think he's definitely an S-tier option. I would put Karl-Anthony Towns in A-tier. I'm not sure I would actually take him over Hakeem, Bam, or Chris Webber, but I do think he's actually pretty good. He's 70 speed. He's not a good defender, but he's got decent speed, and he can shoot a three pretty well, and he is a true 7-footer, which does help him out on the defensive end of the court. Overall, Karl-Anthony Towns, pretty good card. Kawhi is going to be S tier for sure. Kawhi is amazing. One of the best options at the small forward position in my team, probably number 2 in my opinion. He's an easy S tier option for me, and I think he's an absolutely exceptional card. So I definitely would put Kawhi in the S tier as one of the best 3-and-D cards in all of my team. Kevin Love, I will put high C. Well, I don't know. Is he on the level of Al Horford? He's not nearly as versatile defensively as Al Horford, but he's also much slower. But his release is better than Al Horford's. He's a better shooter than Horford, but I'm still going to put him IC. I actually like the card, but I just think 6'8" is really small, and he doesn't defend, and he is really slow. But I love his release, and people actually are liking this card, and I do see why. I think low B for Klay Thompson. Great 3-and-D card, but really not much else. That's about all you need to know with him. I'll put Larry Bird in A. Not quite S, but I do think he's really good. I mean, he's a great pick and pop. One of the best pick and pop cards in all of my team. Capable defender as well, not too slow. Overall, not a liability in any area, and I think Larry's a very usable option, especially at the power forward position, but he's good at small forward as well. I think Magic's C tier. I just think he's an undersized center. I understand he's got good speed, but he doesn't defend very well. He doesn't rebound that great, although he rebounds better than he defends. I still don't think he's all that great in either area. He's not an elite shooter. His release is not amazing. He's just not that great. Marc Gasol's an amazing defender, and he's a 7-footer, and he can shoot an open 3. Unfortunately, he's 40 speed, which is really annoying, but I still think he's actually potentially beat. No, I'm going to put him C. I just can't. I can't put him B. I just think it's too high. I just think that's too slow. You can't really justify it. Nate Thurman's a true inside in the way that Bill Walton's a true inside. I mean, he's a good inside, but he's unfortunately not a great dominant inside the way that Hakeem or especially Shaq is. Will get the job done. Good card, but no higher than C tier. I think Oscar Robertson's honestly B tier. I don't think I would put him A tier. I know he's a lock-in card, but I'm not that impressed by the card. Release is good, but he doesn't move insanely well. He's not an elite level defender. He is 6'5", which is really nice at point guard, but overall, not an insane card. Pau Gasol, similar level as guys like Ben Wallace and Al Horford. He's a 7-footer, which is nice. He's got a capable speed and capable 3-point rating. Release is slow, but that's okay, and he does defend pretty well as well. Not my favorite, but not a bad card. Excuse me, Rick Barry, I'm going to go D tier. People have been hyping this card up a couple times in my comments as well, and I just don't see it. I don't think he's very good. Definitely would not run him personally. Sam Jones is an elite shooter, which is enough to put him in the C tier, but he's not a good enough card in any other area to get himself higher than C tier. Whereas Scottie Pippen is definitely a good enough card to get him very high. S tier for Scottie Pippen, one of the best small forwards in the game. He and Kawhi, I would say, are the two debatable for second place. Scottie has an elite release, and he's an amazing defender. Just one of my favorite 3-and-D cards in the game. Will be on my team for a while, and is an absolute monster. I think Shawn Kemp is probably, well, I love this Shawn Kemp card. I'm going to put him S tier. I'm going to put him S tier. I think he does a top 10 Amethyst in the game right now. I really like the card. His release is super nice. He dunks the ball incredibly well. And he's defensively much better than people realize, I think, as well. Really, really nice card. Tom Gugliotta is not terrible. He's like a 70 speed power forward, which isn't awful. He can hit an open 3, and he's super duper athletic. Very, very good as a screener, a masher, a catch and standing on type of guy. B tier is a little high. I'm going to go C, but he's pretty good card. I think T-Mac is also S tier, I will say, after I still think Booker and Dr. J are probably better, but T-Mac's a 6'8" shooting guard who, while not having the best defensive stats or badges, is a capable defender, especially because of how big he is, with a really good release, who's also an amazing dunker and doesn't have the worst movement. He's an S tier guy, for sure. Really good card. I do believe I'll give the last S tier spot to Victor Oladipo. I'm going to give it to him over Vince Carter. I think Vince is an amazing card as well, but I'm going to go Vince high A, and I'm going to go Oladipo in S because I love the fact that Oladipo is a true 6'4" point guard who's an elite defender, but also has a great release and is super athletic. He's basically Baron Davis, but at Amethyst. Really, really nice card. Zach LaVine is basically Devin Booker, but not quite as good. Still an amazing offensive card. I think he's definitely A tier. I think that, honestly, LaVine and Blake said is pretty interesting because both those cards are super fun. LaVine is one of the best offensive 2 guards in the game. In fact, might be the second best after D-Book right now, or at least near the top. And then Zion, I'm going to go B tier. I just don't think he's a great enough shooter, and he's also very undersized at the power forward position. He's not a bad card, but he's not truly elite. So going to go B tier for Zion. And with that being said, that is every single Amethyst in NBA 2K24 MyTEAM currently ranked on a tier list. So let me know what y'all thought of my tier list in the comment section down below if there's anything you would have changed. And if you did enjoy the video, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. I'll be back with more 2K content very, very soon, and I appreciate y'all. Peace.